Question 21. Consider a scenario where you have just deployed a new Azure infrastructure. As part of your security design, you need to specify a cloud service model that assigns you complete responsibility for securing the operating system and network controls. Which cloud service model should you choose for this design? We have four options. This is not very common like function as a service, but we have IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. Which one do you think is the right answer? The correct answer is infrastructure as a service or IaaS. IaaS or infrastructure as a service is a cloud computing model where the third party provider, in this case Azure, delivers and manages the basic infrastructure needed to run the application. This includes the server, storage, networking components. Essentially, it provides virtualized computing resources over the internet. Some of the benefits of IaaS include cost efficiency, scalability, flexibility, accessibility, and disaster recovery. Question number 22. You have an Azure subscription containing a web application named Web App 1. You are tasked with designing a security baseline for Web App 1, adhering to Microsoft Cybersecurity Reference Architecture, or known as MCRA, and Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark, which is known as MCSB. Given the need to address posture and vulnerability management control, specifically for PV2, which is auditing and enforcing secure configuration, and PV7, which is conducting regular red team operation, which two tasks should you include in your design and select applicable answer? That means I think I'm expecting you to get at least two answers right here. So let's look into these options and see if you can come up with the right answer. The right answers are conduct regular penetration testing and turn off remote debugging. First, let's understand what is MCRA, or Microsoft Cybersecurity Reference Architecture. Microsoft Cybersecurity Reference Architecture, or MCRA, is a comprehensive framework designed to help organizations protect their digital environment. It provides guidance on implementing security controls, tools, and best practices to safeguard systems, data, and identities across both on-prem and cloud environments. Then what is MCSB, or Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark? MCSB is a set of guidelines and best practices for securing cloud environments, specifically those using Microsoft Azure. It provides detailed recommendations for protecting cloud resources and data, covering aspects such as identity management, network security, and threat protection. Question number 23. Imagine you have an Azure subscription and are tasked with designing a solution to secure Azure App Service web application. Your goal is to include measures that protect against SQL injection and cross-site scripting, which is known as XSS attacks. What should be the part of your design considerations? To design, you have these many options available: WAF, ARC, Firewall, Defender, Defender for containers. What is the right answer? The correct answer is Application Gateway Web Application Firewall, or WAF. So we looked into the WAF on Azure Front Door in one of the earlier questions. I don't know which question number, but this time we are looking into WAF on Application Gateway. So what is Application Gateway Web Application Firewall? Application Gateway WAF is a security feature that helps protect your web application from common vulnerabilities and attacks. It acts as a barrier between your web app and the internet, filtering and monitoring incoming traffic to block any sort of malicious request. Few of the benefits of this WAF include preventing any sort of SQL injection attack where attacker can manipulate your application databases, or it helps you protect against cross-site scripting or XSS attacks, which can steal users' data and disrupt site functionality. Additionally, this helps you provide real-time protection and monitoring, ensuring your web app is secure, and it helps you customize rules to meet specific security needs as well. Question number 24. Imagine you have an Azure subscription that includes a Microsoft Sentinel workspace, and you're tasked with classifying threat detection rules based on well-known public knowledge base of attack tactics and techniques. Which resource from Microsoft Sentinel should you review to identify the relevant attack tactics and techniques? Out of all these options, which one do you think is the right answer? The correct answer is MITRE ATT&CK. MITRE ATT&CK is a publicly accessible knowledge base of tactics and techniques commonly used by attackers and is created and maintained by observing real world events. Many organizations use this MITRE ATT&CK knowledge base to develop specific threat models and methodologies that are used to verify security status in their environments. Question 25. Imagine you have an Azure subscription and you need to recommend a solution for centralized logging of cloud resources. The solution should comply with Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark or MCSB. We looked into that a couple of questions ago. And be capable of monitoring applications, virtual machines, and databases. Which option would you recommend? The options are Arc, Databox, Lighthouse, and Monitor. Which one is the right answer? The correct answer is Azure Monitor. Azure Monitor is a tool that helps you keep an eye and manage the performance of your applications and infrastructure, regardless of whether they are in the cloud or on premises. By collecting and analyzing data from different parts of a system, Azure Monitor ensures everything runs smoothly and efficiently. Let's look into question number 26. You are tasked with managing Microsoft Sentinel workspaces across multiple tenants. Your goal is to access and manage these workspaces without needing separate accounts for each tenant. Which solution would you recommend? Let's look into these four options available. Is it a log analytics workspace or Azure Defender for Cloud, Azure Lighthouse, or Azure Monitor? The correct answer is Azure Lighthouse. So what is Azure Lighthouse? Azure Lighthouse is a powerful service provided by Microsoft Azure, which allows service providers and organizations to manage multiple Azure tenants effectively. It centralizes the management and monitoring of resources across different tenants without requiring separate accounts for each tenant. This particular streamlined approach simplifies operations, enhances security, and improves efficiency in managing Azure resources. Some of the benefits of Azure Lighthouse include centralized management, enhanced security, improved operational efficiency, etc. One of the use cases of Azure Lighthouse is if you are a managed service provider or MSP, you can use Azure Lighthouse to offer your client comprehensive Azure management services. By managing multiple client tenants from a single interface, MSPs can provide better customer services and operational efficiency. Question number 27. Imagine you have an Azure subscription and have implemented Microsoft Sentinel for security orchestration, automation, and response, which is commonly known as SOAR, within your organization. You need to identify a Microsoft Sentinel feature that can carry out these tasks. These tasks include triaging new incidents and update their status from new to active. You need to inspect incident contents for further actions and assign an honor to the incident. Which of the feature would best achieve these goals? Let's look into these four options. Is it automation rules, conditions, playbook, or triggers? The correct answer is automation rules. Automation rules are used to inspect contents of an incident. And within that incident, there are things like alerts, entities, and other properties. And these automation rules takes further action by calling a playbook. This automation rule is a part of a solution within the Microsoft Sentinel system. Microsoft Sentinel is the cloud native security information and event management SIEM and security orchestration, automation, and response SOAR solution. Let's look into question number 28. You have an Azure subscription and are tasked with designing a security operations strategy based on Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework for Azure. To organize your security operation effectively, you need to structure them into 3 tiers to address key outcomes. Which 3 tiers should you incorporate into your strategy to ensure comprehensive security operations management? Out of these options given below, we have to pick three answers. So which ones do you think are the right answer? The correct answers are triage, investigation, and hunt. So let me help you understand what these one by one. Typically, a security operations team should be structured into three tiers to focus on key outcome. First, let's look into triage. So triage is tier 1. The first line of response for security incident. Triage is focused on the high volume processing of alerts and is generated by automation and tools. The triage processes solves most common incident types and resolve them within the team. If they end up encountering the complex incidents or incidents that have not seen or not resolved before, they should escalate that to tier 2. So what is tier 2? Tier 2 is the investigation one. Investigation is tier 2. This team focuses on incidents that require further investigation, often requiring a correlation of data points from multiple sources. This investigation aims to provide repeatable solution to resolve escalated to tier 2. And it enables the tier 1 to resolve later recurrences of that type of issue. And tier 2 will also respond to alerts against business critical system to reflect the severity of risk and the need to act quickly. And the third tier is the hunt. Hunting team focuses primarily on proactively hunting for highly sophisticated attack processes and developing guidance to the wider teams. The tier 3 team also act as an escalation point for major incident to support forensic analysis and responses. Let's look into question number 29. You are tasked with creating a centralized logging solution for an Azure environment. How do you ensure the integrity and security of your log and audit data to prevent unauthorized access and tampering? We have four options here. I would suggest you to pause, go through this option and see if you can find the correct answer. The correct answer for this question is encrypt log data in transit and at rest. Implementing strong encryption for log data both in transit and at rest is a key consideration to ensure data integrity and protecting log and auditing data from tampering or unauthorized access. So what are the key components of centralized logging? The first process is log collection. So Azure Monitor can gather log from various sources, including application services and network resources. Second is log storage. Azure Log Analytics Workspace is ideal for this particular purpose. The third is data integrity and security. To maintain the integrity of log data, you can encrypt the log data by using Azure Storage encryption capabilities, or you could implement Azure Role-Based Access Control to restrict access to log data to unauthorized personnel only. The next step is the log analysis and monitoring. So you can leverage Azure Sentinel for advanced threat detection and automated processes or responses. Fifth is retention policies. Then you can use alerting and reporting, and finally integration with third-party tools. So these are some of the key components of centralized logging and some of the best practices what you can follow. Let's look at question number 30. Imagine you are tasked with improving an Azure environment based on Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework best practices. You need to recommend the deployment of a solution that manages secrets, keys, and certificates, while also providing protection against accidental or intentional deletions. Which solution would you choose? Let's look into the available four options. Take a pause, see if you can come up with the answer. The correct answer is Azure Key Vault. So what is Azure Key Vault? Azure Key Vault is a cloud service offered by Microsoft Azure that helps safeguard cryptographic keys and secrets used by cloud applications and services. It stores sensitive data such as encryption keys, certificates, connection strings, and passwords in a secure manner. So some of the use cases of Azure Key Vault include you can use it to securely store secrets, or managing certificates, or you can use it to encrypt data.